Rape X is a condom that I've designed, and we've done it into a tiny little, the same size as a tampon. The woman who wears it in her vajayjay, she gets raped, it attaches to the rapist, and he cannot remove it, and only a medical doctor can remove it. And he cannot urinate because he's encapsulated. He's in for a tough time. And that's my hope that I'm sharing with the women out there. My name is Sonnet, and I share hope to all women and children around the world.
Welcome to I Share Hope, the podcast where world leaders share their real stories of hope and how you can use actionable hope to start changing your life today. And now, here's your host, Chris Williams.
Hi, Chris.
Hello, how are you today?
Very well, and you?
I am doing wonderful, and I am so sorry for being, I think I'm a whole 60 seconds late calling you.
I forgive you.
Thank you. So, are we on Skype right now, or am I calling you directly at your phone, and can we do a video chat, or is audio only a better thing for you right now?
Can you hear better now?
I can hear you just fine. I just didn't know if are you in a place where we can turn the video on your side, or are we audio on your side only?
I'll go about that. Can you see me now?
Oh, yes, there you are. Hello. And it looks so sunny and bright where you are. Is it morning?
It's always sunny in South Africa.
I love it. It's always sunny in South Africa. We got some friends in Anchorage, Alaska, and even farther north than that. And right now, in the summer, it's literally almost always sunny.
Yes, it is. It's beautiful. But I must say we had a fantastic winter. We can't complain.
What part of South Africa are you in?
I'm right in the Northern Cape. That's the heart of South Africa.
That's a beautiful area. It really is. Have you lived there your whole life?
No, I was up in the Transvaal, the old Transvaal, and then at Betty's Bay, now in the Northern Cape, and I hope to move back to the Western Cape soon.
That's great. Why move to the Western Cape? Because the area you're in is beautiful.
It is, but it's very desolate. It's, and there's not much that you can do here. It's also a very, very, very poor community down here.
Sure, that makes sense. Well, I can't thank you enough for spending the time with us today. I really am excited to hear what you have to say. You have an amazing story and an amazing organization, and there's a lot that I'm going to learn, and I know that our guests and the other people who listen in will learn too. So thank you very, very much.
It's my pleasure.
So is it Sonnet Bryant? I want to make sure I say your name right.
N-E-T.
N-E-T, Sonnet. So Sonnet, do you pronounce it?
Yes, Sonnet.
Sonnet Bryant. Okay, that's great. Well, let me introduce you in a second, and then we'll kind of start the official part of the interview. And I'm gonna just make sure that you get to tell a little bit about you and what you're doing, where you are, what you had for breakfast or dinner, or what your organization's up to today. Anything in the middle there, you're welcome to say, and then I will get into the questions. Have you seen the Interview 101 document that walks you through how the interview works?
Good. Fine.
Okay, so you've got the list of questions there in front of you from that document, right?
I never received your questions, but I normally know what they go about because I've done so many of these interviews.
Okay.
I know. How did it start? Well, what made you do this?
Well, we ask 5 questions of everybody we interview. We're interviewing 1,000 people, and we ask the same 5 questions about hope, kind of your definition of hope, who's shared hope with you, what has been a time in your life when it was hard and you really had to have hope to pull through, how are you sharing hope today, and for the listeners and myself, then how can we take really simple, actionable steps to begin growing as people of hope or sharing hope with someone around us? That's it.
That's because hope is all we've got at this stage.
I think you're right, and I really do, and I'm trying to get better at it myself. Okay, well, you ready to jump in here?
I'm ready.
Okay. Sonnet Bryant from South Africa, long way away from where I'm sitting right now, but I thank you for number one, staying up probably a little bit late in the evening and for spending time with us today. Tell me where you are exactly and what you're doing.
I'm in the center of South Africa, near Kimberley, where the diamonds are. Unfortunately, I've got none with me. What do they say? A diamond's a girl's best friend. But it's a beautiful place. It's very semi-desert, and your temperature go up to about 40 degrees in summertime, and it also can plummet down to about minuses in winter. Yes. And what I do is I get involved around my area because it's a very poor area where I'm living currently. And I get, offer my help to various people that's in need, go and help out where they need a nurse. So I do some nursing in the meantime as well. And they appreciate it, really.
That's really special. It really is. And you've been in that area for how long?
I've been here since 2007.
Wow. I've seen pictures of some of the communities there. Beautiful part of the world, but you're right, a very oppressed part of the world too.
Yes, you have got to have hope in life to be able to live here because you have got to see the need of other people. And once you see their need and you can fulfill their need, it makes you feel better. You also sleep better tonight when you go out and you go and help other people that really cannot help themselves. And that really gives to communities.
Well said. Well said. Well, Miss Sonnet Bryant, we ask 1,000 people in the world who are leading their section of the world in a hopeful way the same 5 questions. This is a huge research project on hope. And it came out of me trying to gain more hope, and I am still very, very weak at hope from just some tough situations in life that suck the life out of you sometimes. But I'm determined to catch on to this thing. I'm determined to learn and figure this out. And I thank you for your time. So can I ask you the 5 questions and you can help us out?
Sure.
Okay. So question 1 is, what is your definition or a favorite quote about hope, or what is your philosophy about hope?
My philosophy about hope is, if you can help out, it doesn't go about yourself, but it goes about the next person. If we would give more love, we would be able to distribute more hope to everybody in the world. And once we have done that, we will have less fighting, less wars, and less people that is disgruntled about things around them. And that, to me, is love, is really hope. Once you can distribute warmth and that, you have given what people need.
Love is really hope, and distributing more love. I totally agree. So tell me this. Question 2 is, who has shared the most hope with you in your life? Who's been that key giver of more love in your world that has helped you grow?
My mom played a very big role in my life, and so did my father. And my dad always used to say his philosophy was, never stir trouble, try and resolve it. And therefore you can make people happy. Don't be a troublemaker.
Yeah, never stir trouble, try to resolve it. That's a great quote. That's a great quote for kids and teenagers and students and adults. It's so easy to jump in and gossip about our neighbor or our friend or a loved one when, man, they just need some help. Yeah.
Yes, and you walk in their shoes, so you cannot judge them. How can you judge the next person if you've never walked the mile with them? Only when you've walked with them and you are in their shoes and in their situation can you say, oh, maybe you could have done it that way. But before that, you cannot judge anybody.
So question 3, let us walk a mile with you in your shoes. Question 3 is, is telling us about a time in your life and take us back to a place, paint the picture for us so we can understand where have you come from? How has hope helped you? Has there been some hard times back there for you where you really had to pull through something very difficult?
Yes. I went to school at the age of 5 and I went straight to boarding school, which was a very challenging time in my life as a little one. You can say I left home at the age of 5 and only coming home holiday times. So that, I think, at the end made me a very strong person, and you can endure things. You can also pull through with when you get into hard times. You can acknowledge and say, listen, I can beat this. And I've always taught my children, there is no such word as I can't. You can always. Whatever you put your mind to, you can do. And stay positive. That's the main thing in life. If you're not positive and you've got a negative attitude, you're not going to get very far.
That's a great point. It really is. And you've lived in South Africa your entire life, right?
Correct.
You know, I've never heard you speak on this or I've never seen anything you've written about this, but you obviously have lived through a part of history that was very, very volatile and violent and racially separated. A lot of hard times that South Africa has gone through in the past, 50, 60 years. You've seen Nelson Mandela come and then go and then come back and then pass away. What was that like? What was that like as a nation?
I can't really complain because my parents reared 2 black children from the age of 4 and the other one was 6. Mm-hmm. And they reared them exactly the same way as what they reared us. So to me, there was never really apartheid because I've never lived through it, although our schools were separated. But to me, there is no such thing as a color. Inside, we operate exactly the same. Our minds work the same. So it's only skin deep. Mm-hmm. Like beauty. Beauty is skin deep.
You're right. You're really right. So can you tell us a little bit about how you're sharing hope today? So question 4 is, what are you doing in life to share hope with other people? I know you have some really strong workings that you're doing in the community. You have an amazing organization. There's a lot of things you could talk about here, and I would love to hear really what you're doing and why you're doing what you're doing. More than just I'm helping a community here, but there's a lot more there.
Yeah, my first hope that I have come across was when in 1969 I had a patient that was raped, and she said, if only I had teeth down there. And I said to her, I'll give you hope. One day I'll do something. And I stuck to my promise about that. And I said, and I actually went back to where she was, but I think she had passed on. And to tell her, listen, hope is right at your doorstep. And this is why, to me, the product that I'm working on, RapeX, is extremely important to me because that gives women hope. It protects them against HIV, it protects them against many other STDs, and also they feel they're slightly armed. They cannot prevent the deed, but at least it protects them. And that's my hope that I'm sharing with the women out there.
What is RapeX?
RapeX is a condom that I've designed, and I've got Vince with me. He's a medical engineer. And I've started, and he came along and he said to me, Sonnet, let me help you develop this. And we've done it into a tiny little, the same size as a tampon. The woman who wears it in her vajayjay, she gets raped, it attaches to the rapist, and he cannot remove it, and only a medical doctor can remove it. And he cannot urinate because he's encapsulated.
I love it.
So he's in for...
Say it again, he's in what?
I say he's in for a tough time.
So this is fantastic. And if it's Rape X or is it Rape Axe? A-X-E.
A-X-E, yes.
Okay, great. Like an axe you chop down a tree with.
Exactly, I'm trying to chop it out. The deed, not the guy, the deed.
The deed, right? I think that is one of the coolest inventions I've heard of in a long time. I do a little bit of venture capital work and advising, and we get a lot of inventions that come through and they wander across our desk, and that is super fun. Like, not fun, and I say fun because it makes you smile and kind of chuckle when you think about, oh my goodness.
I tell you, the guy thinks he's in for something very pleasant, and then he discovers I'm in hell. I cannot, because he cannot remove it. Only a doctor can do it.
So are these being used now? Are they already out in the field?
We're sitting a bit at the moment in a tight spot between the wall and the wallpaper, basically, because we have now, Vince has done the patent in a beautiful, it's super small, and it's been tested and it works like a charm, but we have got to get funds to really get it out to the women, and we're struggling. We are not getting any investors on board at this stage. So we hope there's an investor out there that says, listen, that sounds like I want to jump on that bandwagon.
So it's approved already from I don't know what the regulations are in your country, but
yeah, it's patented, and we've patented in America and places in Europe, South Africa, India, and I think China as well.
Well, if you're listening in on this and you are looking for something really fascinating to invest in, this is not a promotional statement or any statement of me saying I think this is a great investment. I just think it's really, really fascinating. You should get in touch with Sonnet and hear her story. Wow.
It's incredible how the women get in contact with me. I tell you, really millions. Where can we purchase it? How can we purchase it? Can we order it? And unfortunately, it's not ready for the market yet.
Huh. Have you ever thought
the product is ready for funds.
Have you ever thought of crowdsourcing it? And, there's a lot of crowdsourcing websites where people will put a little money into the invention idea, and then it grows, and as you get enough, then everybody gets some free sample or something like that for their part in it.
Vince is the one that does the financing. I'm, basically, because I'm the one that invented it and he took over. So he's the one that's doing that section. Huh. And of course, they can contact us on our website.
Okay, that's great. Well, we're going to put the website and all these things on isharehope.com. And there's a link at the top called interviews, and your interview will be there. If you click on the Sonnet Bryant interview, you'll find the links to all of her contact info and everything she's doing. So question 5, Dr. Sonnet Bryant. So I'm jumping off question 5 here for a second. Doctor in what? I see doctor in front of your name.
Yes. You know what I did? I used to go into prison early in the morning. While the other ladies are doing shopping, I would go into prisons, and I did my thesis on how rapists, how their heads work, how they do it, what do they look for, how do they go about the deeds, and so on. So I spent about almost 4 to 5 years on research as to how they go about all this. Look, I was in medical research, and this is how I picked up the patient that was raped. I mean, when you look into somebody's face and you just see a blank, and her eyes look like dead marbles, then you realize the pain is much deeper than what you can imagine. And there's basically just tears running down their cheeks. And, I have heard some women already begging and pleading. And the rapist just carries on regardless. He doesn't hear. He doesn't listen to any reason. He just carries on. And therefore, there's certain things, when I did my research, what the rapists look for. I look, for instance, for long hair, where they can manipulate the woman, clothes that remove easily, women that are preoccupied, that's not, busy on the cell phone or looking for keys in the car park. You've got to have all those things ready before you get to your car. And they've got a whole list of things that they go for. And they never go for a woman that's bigger in stature than themselves, because they're actually cowards. So when, I used to sit opposite them and go into, their background, what makes them do these things. And most of them has got an extreme deep hate about women, whether they picked it from the mother was 10 to 1 nasty to them, or they have been molested as youngsters. These are all elements that add to their deeds that they are doing currently. And then, of course, alcohol plays a big role. The spiking of girls' drinks. Therefore, I always tell the girls, my hope for you is never accept a drink that's been opened, not even a cool drink. Whenever you receive anything, it must be sealed. You do not leave your drink behind. You carry it with you and you guard it like your life. Because this is the time when they spike it.
There's a lot of good points and good advice you just put in there. And all of that, is that on your website as well? If people want to go and find out, how do we stay safe? Yeah. Okay. Great resources. So question 5 then, how are you, or can you teach us, I think you already are, but can you teach us some really simple steps to become more hopeful or to share hope with someone else, maybe even in your own field of dealing with rape victims so much? Many of us know somebody who's had that story. How do we reach out and share hope? Or if we've been in that situation, how do we start regaining our hope in our life?
In South Africa, every 28 seconds, a woman gets raped, which is, as we were talking, you can imagine how many women have been raped in this short time. And I always say to the women, remember, you were unfortunately at the wrong place at the wrong time. It's not your fault. Do not crucify yourself because what happened to you. It's not your fault. And therefore, they must never take this personal and say, you know what, I was the cause of being raped. You were not. And they must, I know it's very difficult for them to get over it. It's a very difficult ordeal to get over. But there's always hope at the end of the tunnel, because with rapex, they cannot pick up an unwanted pregnancy. They cannot pick up STDs. They can pick up nothing from him. And the fact that he's tagged, he is the DNA. Because previously you had to go and lie and the doctor did a DNA on you to try and find this guy. How are they going to find him? He pulled up his zipper and he's gone into masses. Now he can go into no masses. He's got to go to the clinic and he will be identified. And this is why I call it a rapist identifier.
That's a good point. Just not accepting the blame for what happened is such a big part of it. It really is, because everybody questions, well, did I wear the wrong thing? Did I say the wrong thing? Was I flirting with the wrong person? I tell you what, if somebody does something violent like that, there's really...
My first recorded rape ever is in the Bible in Genesis, when Dinah was raped. Mm-hmm. And I can assure you, Dinah never wore the wrong clothing. She was covered from head to toe. And yet she was raped. Mm-hmm. So they must never, as I say, crucify themselves over something that happened that was not really their fault.
Wow, good stuff. So there is so much on your site and in your story that we're not getting to tap today, but I want to make sure people can find you. So your website, again, kind of tell us what your website is, and any social media or any other locations we can follow what you're doing.
I sort of keep a very low profile. Men are not very happy with me. They threaten me all the time.
I bet. Wow.
I lie. No. They can go onto my website, leave me a message, and I'll get it. They'll forward it to me, and I normally like to answer the people personally because there's lots of young girls that, for instance, get in contact with me and say, my stepfather rapes me twice a week and my mother doesn't want to believe me because she thinks I want to break up the marriage. So I normally talk to these girls and I try and give them a better perspective of what they should do and how they must go about it. Especially, from country to country, we've got different laws. So I work on the South African law and try and help them that way. I must also say, men must also remember, a lot of women frame them all the time. A lot of women would say, oh, I've been raped. They shout rape. And meanwhile,
So you were saying that it's that I was asking about contact information, and you were saying that girls can get in touch with you on the website, and that there's a lot of conversations that go on there when someone doesn't believe them that they're being abused by maybe a stepfather or something like that.
correct.
That's a great place. I'm so glad that you're giving a listening ear, because I don't think that people get heard the right way enough, and they unfortunately don't get believed. And if you are listening and something bad is happening and you're telling someone and they're not believing you, try somebody else, please.
That's
Yeah.
And I always feel, turn your scars that you've picked up along the way into stars, and make them sparkle, because you can always, if something happened to you in life and you've got the experience, you can deal with it. If it's never happened to you, you cannot really deal with the problem. Like, I don't do drugs, so I cannot speak to a drug addict. I can really tell him, listen, go this way, do that and that, but I cannot get down to his level because I've never been there. But with me, I worked with women that's been raped, so I know their pain, I know their scars, I know their suffering. So that makes it more easy for me to deal with them, to speak to them on a day-to-day basis, and calm them down. And I always believe our biggest hope in life is God, because if there was no God, we would have no hope. We would have been a total hopeless case. And He is my biggest source of hope.
I'm really glad to hear that. That's great. So, Dr. Sonnet Bryant, an amazing, amazing story, and you've done an enormous amount of work. I wish everybody could be on the conversations live like this, because if you could see Sonnet, she is just this fantastic woman who obviously looks like a queen or a princess, and yet she's spent so much time in prisons and dealing with really hard situations. She is really diverse, interesting, and just going after an issue with teeth and the veracity it takes to push these perpetrators back. I love it. I love it. I'm not the guy who wants to be in your way. That's for sure.
Thank you. I mean, I always say I salute real men, but the ones that hurt women and children, I cannot salute them. But real men, I do. And a lot of people think I'm a male hater. I'm not. I love men. But the thing is, but real men, not the ones that plays around and hurt women and children, because then, they get on my wrong side. And I'm not easy once they get on my wrong side.
I can tell. Yeah. All right. So, Sonnet, tell me this. We need to get a few quotes for the beginning of the episode. We place the beginning of each episode a little quote that we're going to find from your interview that's just kind of a thing to catch people's attention, and then your voice saying, I'm Dr. Sonnet Bryant, and I share hope, or I'm Dr. Sonnet Bryant, the inventor of, or the researcher in, and I share hope. However you want to introduce yourself, and I share hope. So I'm going to mute my microphone for a second, and I'll let you try a few of those, or one or two if you would like, and that'd be great.
My name is Sonnet Ehlers, and I fight for the rights of women and children. And I will always be there for them. Every tear they shed touches my heart. And I feel that we should give everybody hope in life, because a lot of people feel I'm in this black, dark hole and there's no hope, there's no light. But always look up and never, ever think that you are not worthy, because God creates worthy people. When you were born, there was millions of sperms that could fertilize the uterus, but you were the fastest swimmer. If you could win that race, you can win every race in your life, because Out of millions, you came first, sealed off the uterus, and all the others just lost the race. And that's my message for you. If you won that race, you can win everyone.
That's great. Thank you. Now give me one that's very short that just says your name and I share hope, and we'll use that as well.
My name is Sonnet, and I share hope to all women and children around the world.
Beautiful. Beautiful. So a few just random questions then. You got to ask this. So you say the product, the rape acts, the condom that keeps the woman safe and yet entraps the man, and he has to literally go to the doctor to get this thing off. He can't urinate, can't do anything until this thing's off. You say it's been tested, which makes me want to know, how did you get volunteers for that?
Yes, we had one in Greece, and he said it was absolutely like sheer hell. He said he couldn't move. He couldn't move, he couldn't walk, he couldn't sit, he couldn't stand, he didn't know where to go with himself. He says it was agony. So I just tell the guys out there, please remember, this is not a thing to play with. Because I also go around and I go into the townships, which is very, very dangerous in South Africa, many of them. And I ask the guys there, I show it to them. I show them what will happen to them if they should run into rape acts. And the police tells me, Sonnet, once you've been there, we haven't got a rape for months because they're scared you left some behind. I said, but that's my idea. I don't want to catch them. I just want to frighten them.
So when you were doing the original testing of this product, did you put an ad in the paper or something for people to come and volunteer to get this thing put on?
You won't believe I had quite a number of guys that volunteered.
Wow, I hope you paid them well. Good grief.
Possibly the cat, I don't know.
Oh, wow. So I really hope this takes off, because I think that's a fantastic product. It's really fun. It's really hilarious. It's such a tragic situation when that type of violence happens. And you have turned this around where, the doctor who has to take this thing off of somebody has got to be laughing inside, just saying, this idiot, we got him, and I'm going to let him sit in the waiting room for another 30 minutes just to feel it.
And he's got to go to theatre, not just in the waiting room. He's got to go to theatre.
My goodness.
And a lot of women ask questions about, is it comfortable? It's so comfortable you can forget it in. Don't catch your hubby. It is just, you don't even know you've got it in. It's tiny, it's small, it's so petite, and yet it does a fantastic job.
Amazing. Amazing. Great work. Well, thank you very, very much for sharing hope with me and our audience who's listening and sharing hope together. It's been a privilege talking to you. Thank you for your work.
Thank you very much. It's been a privilege for me to be on your show.
All right. Enjoy your evening. Thanks. Talk to you soon.
Thank you,
All right,
and God bless. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
You've just listened to I Share Hope. If you're ready to make a change, head to our website at isharehope.com and claim your free copy of the Top 10 Actions of Hope from World Leaders to use hope in your own life. Thanks for listening, and we'll talk to you next time.
I think you're right, and I really do, and I'm trying to get better at it myself. Okay, well, you ready to jump in here?
I'm ready.
Okay. Sonnet Bryant from South Africa, long way away from where I'm sitting right now, but I thank you for number one, staying up probably a little bit late in the evening, and for spending time with us today. Tell me where you are exactly and what you're doing.
I'm in the center of South Africa, near Kimberley, where the diamonds are. Unfortunately, I've got none with me. What do they say? A diamond's a girl's best friend. But it's a beautiful place. It's very semi-desert, and your temperature go up to about 40 degrees in summertime, and it also can plummet down to about minuses in winter. Yes. And what I do is I get involved around my area because it's a very poor area where I'm living currently. And I get, offer my help to various people that's in need, go and help.
Or what you had for breakfast or dinner, or what your organization's up to today. Anything in the middle there, you're welcome to say, and then I will get into the questions. Have you seen the interview 101 document that walks you through how the interview works?
Good. Fine.
Okay, so you've got the list of questions there in front of you from that document, right?
I never received your questions, but I normally know what they go about because I've done so many of these interviews.
Okay.
I know. How did it start? Well, what made you do this?
Well, we ask 5 questions of everybody we interview. We're interviewing 1,000 people, and we ask the same 5 questions about hope. Kind of your definition of hope, who's shared hope with you. What has been a time in your life when it was hard and you really had to have hope to pull through? How are you sharing hope today? And for the listeners and myself, then how can we take really simple, actionable steps to begin growing as people of hope or sharing hope with someone around us? That's it.
That's because hope is all we've got at this stage.
Video chat, or is audio only a better thing for you right now?
Can you hear better now?
I can hear. Oh, yeah, I can hear you just fine. I just didn't know if are you in a place where we can turn the video on your side, or are we audio on your side only?
I'll go about that. Can you see me now?
Oh, yes, there you are. Hello. And it looks so sunny and bright where you are. Is it morning?
It's always sunny in South Africa.
I love it. It's always sunny in South Africa. We got some friends in Anchorage, Alaska, and even farther north than that. And right now, in the summer, it's literally almost always sunny.
Yes, it is. It's beautiful. But I must say, we had a fantastic winter. We can't complain.
What part of South Africa are you in?
I'm right in the Northern Cape. That's the heart of South Africa.
That's a beautiful area. It really is. Have you lived there your whole life?
No, I was up in the Transvaal, the old Transvaal, and then at Betty's Bay, now in the Northern Cape, and I hope to move. Rape X is a condom that I've designed, and we've done it into a tiny little, the same size as a tampon. The woman who wears it in her vajayjay, she gets raped, it attaches to the rapist, and he cannot remove it, and only a medical doctor can remove it. And he cannot urinate because he's encapsulated. He's in for a tough time. And that's my hope that I'm sharing with the women out there. My name is Sonnet, and I share hope to all women and children around the world.
Welcome to I Share Hope, the podcast where world leaders share their real stories of hope and how you can use actionable hope to start changing your life today. And now, here's your host, Chris Williams.
Hi, Chris.
Hello, how are you today?
Very well, and you?
I am doing wonderful, and I am so sorry for I think I'm a whole 60 seconds late calling you.
I forgive you.
Thank you. So are we on Skype right now, or am I calling you directly at your phone, and can we do
Back to the Western Cape soon.
That's great. Why move to the Western Cape? Because the area you're in is beautiful.
It is, but it's very desolate. It's, and there's not much that you can do here. It's also a very, very, very poor community down here.
Sure, that makes sense. Well, I can't thank you enough for spending the time with us today. I really am excited to hear what you have to say. You have an amazing story and an amazing organization, and there's a lot that I'm going to learn, and I know that our guests and the other people who listen in will learn too. So thank you very, very much.
It's my pleasure.
So is it Sonnet Bryant? I want to make sure I say your name right.
N-E-T.
N-E-T, Sonnet. So Sonnet, do you pronounce it?
Yes. Sonnet
Bryant. Okay. That's great. Well, let me introduce you in a second, and then we'll kind of start the official part of the interview. And I'm going to just make sure that you get to tell a little bit about you and what you're doing, where you are,